Hello everyone. Hello everyone. My name is Khalia Barrows. I am a liberal studies major and I attend El Camino College. Today we'll be going over my cultural bag / my who am I bag. And as you can see, I have a few things around me that I'm going to discuss. So what experiences have shaped my interpersonal communication skills? For one, so these are wax sticks. I am a licensed cosmetologist, but I have waxed longer than anything. I worked at European Wax Center for 4 years, did some waxing at some other salons, and I still wax on the side along with my current job as well as attending El Camino College. And as crazy as it sounds, it helped with my interpersonal communication skills because, for one, I was in an environment that was a lot different than what I was used to. I was literally the only person of color there for a very long time, so I got really good at like how people say code switching and things like that, as well as waxing is so personal, so you get very, very good at making other people feel comfortable around you and not minding being in your company. And what a lot of people don't realize is when it comes to a lot of these jobs, people come to you to, confide and all these other things along with the service. So doing that job, I have gotten very, very good at making people feel comfortable and helping people and making people trust me and things like that. It's a very interesting job, but I'm kind of glad I got into it. So what things about me affect others' perceptions about me? So I have a few things. For starters, I take a lot of medication. That's why I have this here. And in particular, I do suffer from a few mental illnesses that I am not going to go into specifics about. But when people find out about it, they have one of a few reactions. It's either, oh my God, I never would have guessed it. You act so, whatever the case is. Or it's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry, or some kind of weird type of sympathy. And sometimes it really can affect certain things. Like, for instance, I had a doctor who, once he found out I had a certain mental illness, he kind of just chalked it up as being in my head and would not give me the referral that I needed to see a specialist for something that was very important. Turns out it was not in my head. I did have something that was wrong with me, and I wound up switching doctors because it was ridiculous, but that's a whole nother story. And another thing that I can't really put in the bag, but it would be the fact that I am covered in a lot of tattoos. They are everywhere, the back of my neck, my legs, my back, they're everywhere. And granted, tattoos are becoming more and more commonplace, more and more mainstream. There are still people who have reservations and who just generally don't like them. And they kind of start to make assumptions about you because you have them. And I'm one of those people that, you can have tattoos for all types of reasons. I really don't. Some things that represent my real self and my presenting self. This is going to be fun. This is a Terrifier shirt. I love, love, love horror. And I identify as a demigirl / genderqueer. And this is a guy shirt. And granted, I feel like people can wear whatever they want to wear. I don't feel like fashion. It's just clothes. But it definitely represents a lot about me. I'm into oddities and I just love horror and anything morbid. It's interesting. But that would definitely be one thing. And then what are some hobbies that I enjoy? Dance is my passion. So here are some tap shoes. I tap dance as well as I did cheer practically my entire life. I even coached it. I do a lot of I used to do a lot of aerial activities like aerial yoga, pole dance, and things like that until I tore my ACL. I tore my ACL and my meniscus, and ever since I've been kind of recovering, had to have surgery. So I haven't been dancing like I used to, but that is definitely one of my biggest hobbies. It's something I love to do. I would tap all the time in the house. I love it. Something else that would be hobbies that I enjoy. I love gardening. Probably like, what is in this box? It is a box of seeds. I have a lot of different types of seeds because I just love, I've grown everything you can grow. I've grown all types of carrots, radishes, lettuces, spinaches, kales, peppers, onions, all types of different flowers, from marigolds to poppies to dahlias to hollyhocks, to, you get the point. That is one of my passions. I love it. It gives me something to do. It's something to take care of, as well as I love house plants, which is kind of in the same realm. I actually own over 70 house plants. It's been a minute since I have counted them, but I own a lot. You can see all of the greenery behind me, and if I were to do a tour of my room and my house, it would be an interesting sight. But yeah, these are two of my smaller plants that I own. This is a philodendron decursiva, also known as the dragon tail philodendron, and then you have my I want to say this is a philodendron Gabby. So not a Brazil, but it has white variegation versus the Brazil that has yellow. And then some cultural traditions or artifacts that represents my culture. So this is a shell, as you guys can see, but it's from Jamaica. My father was born in Jamaica, but his parents were Indian and Pakistani. And when my mother went to visit before I was born, she brought this shell back with her, and it was always something I liked showing off, and it's something she gave to me when she decided to move to Alabama, where my mother is originally from. So that's one thing. And then I have this sage here because my mother is Black, but she's also Native American, and something I grew up with that I always thought was kind of strange, admittedly, was that my mom actually would sage the house and things like that. And it's funny because everybody does it now. I know so many people who do it, but it's something I grew up with. It's something that's just what my mother did. You know what I'm saying? And then what has shaped the way I communicate with family members? Just certain experiences. Yeah, just certain experiences that we may or may have dealt with definitely determines how I interact with family members. For instance, on my mother's side, just, respecting your elders is like a really important thing. You don't curse in front of people older than you. If they're old enough to be like your parent or anything. What your parent says goes. It doesn't really matter. It's kind of more of a strict, yes sir, yes ma'am. You do not answer with what, you answer with yes, and that's just, at least what I've always been kind of told, like a Southern thing. I'm not entirely sure, but that's definitely one factor as to like how I communicate with my family members, and kind of how we all have like how we treat each other in the dynamic, at least on my mother's side. On my father's side, it's a little bit different. Well, it's a lot different, simply because they're just not American. It's very different. It's very different. And what are things / who are people that have made me who I am today? So I have some pictures, and this is a picture of my sister and my mother on my sister's wedding day. She got married last year in June. And these two people have been extremely important. My father died actually a few months before I was born. And so it's always been me, my mother, and my sister. And I feel like, you know, thanks to my mother and just like seeing the things that she did and, you know, to take care of me really helped make me the person I am today. As well as my sister just kind of always being in my corner. She's one of the smartest people you'd ever meet. And she, to this day, like, you know, like supports me and helps me with my school assignments as far as like my writing, my papers and whatnot, because she does have a major in English and it's her thing. So those are people. And then the last thing I have is this photo of my boyfriend and one of our dogs. We have 4 dogs. But if it wasn't for him, honestly, I would not be in school right now for the major that I am in. He saw something in me that I did not see in me, as far as just like being nurturing and being caring and you know, just working with children. And thanks to him, I am a liberal studies major and I'm doing what I can to one day work with special needs. And yeah, that is my culture back. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much.